Previously on Gears.
We had him in the studio just after he came back from Germany last year after clinching the very prestigious Scirocco Cup R Championship in Germany. Not the irony, the fun thing about it is he's got two of his mates here who had to drive him here because he still doesn't have an actual license for the road. Of course, it is Kelvin van der Linde. Kelvin, welcome back to Balls, my friend. Great to see you.
Thanks a lot, Sasha.
Happy Valentine's Day, eh?
Likewise.
Put that a little bit closer to you.
He's dressed in pink,
He's
is
dressed
nice.
in. You see, real men wear pink. There we go. Kelvin, listen, last year was a dream come true. The last time we spoke, you were going over and the prospects were you're going to race possibly Porsche Carrera Cup. Now, all of a sudden, the world has just opened up for Kelvin, and you announced at the beginning of this week or last week this incredible deal you've signed with Prosperia Christian Abt Racing in Germany for 2014, driving a freaking Audi R8.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing opportunity.
Wow.
Obviously, a lot of prestige behind the team. Christian Abt's been involved in motorsport for many years, and of course, the Abt brand is, a large brand in Europe in particular. So, to go out there and get an opportunity like that is something that, I'm so excited to go out there and just perform, It's a big opportunity, but at the same time, I've got to put in the hard work to make it work. So,
well, first thing you got to do is learn how to speak as a German.
Yeah, I went for my first German lesson.
Guten Tag.
Yeah. Kann Sie Englisch sprechen?
Kann Sie Englisch sprechen? There we go. Engine geproef. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, this is just something incredible. Now, you finished school.
Yeah, well, I'm in matric
now. So you got matric, plus you're going to race in something called a GT series.
Yes.
Just explain to people what a GT series is.
Well, the series I'm racing in is called GT Masters. It's one of the biggest GT championships in Germany. So basically, I'm racing against Ferrari 458s, Mercedes SLSs, BMW Z4s, cars making up to 600 horsepower. So, it really is the cream of the crop when it comes to cars in that field. So very excited. It's a car that, only the best in the world probably get to drive, and I'm up against the best in the world. So I really have to be fully prepared when I do go over there for the first test in March. And so far, I've done all my prep work and I'm ready for it.
Now, it's quite amazing. How did it come about? Because as I say, the last time we spoke, you were talking Porsche Carrera Cup. You go for a trial there with a little bit of money that you got from the VW win in the Scirocco. That looked as though where you were going to place yourself. This is now all of a sudden about 5 levels ahead of that. So how did this deal come about?
Well, at the end of last year, we were still trying to get the Porsche Carrera Cup deal together after being at the Porsche Young Driver Test, which went fairly well for us. And we came back, fairly high hopes to go there. And, everything was looking good. And then this opportunity arose early Jan. And, I couldn't turn it down. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. My parents just said to me, you get this thing once in your life and you have to go for it. I've got a teammate in Nicky Team, which is the Porsche Super Cup champion.
Brilliant.
So, it doesn't get much better than that. So really, really excited.
Brilliant. Who are some of the other guys that you're up against in this series?
Well, in my team in particular, I'm with Marcus Winkelhock, René Rast, Audi factory driver. Just, the cream of the crop when it comes to GT racing in the world, and I'm just so privileged to be part of it.
Now, how is this going to affect your going to school?
Well, my parents said to me that I actually didn't have to do matric, but I wanted to pull through and do it. So, it's going to be one hell of a year in terms of balancing everything.
Yeah.
But, I think at the end of the day, it's what I got to do. If you put in the hard work now, it can only pay off at the end. So, we'll take it as it comes. And if it gets a bit hectic, I've got a good support group in my school and my friends back home. So, it really does make things a bit easier for me.
No, I think that's terrific. It's great to have a school. Great, number one, to have your parents so fantastically behind you. But it's also great and a great testament to yourself to sit there and say, hey, listen, I'm going racing, but my education is also very, very important.
Yeah,
I think it's a great lesson for a lot of people to learn about that as well. The change, Kelvin, from going from your polo days to Scirocco, which is a lot more horsepower, to this, which is, as you say, 650 horsepower kind of vehicle, all-wheel drive. Have you driven the cars yet?
Well, at the end of last year, I went for the Porsche Young Driver Test,
Yes.
which was, it still makes 450 horsepower, which is nowhere near what this Audi is going to produce. But at the beginning of March, 1st of March, I'm flying over for the first test in Ascari in Spain. So that'll be the first time I really get a true taste of what a real GT car is like. And I've done a lot of prep work on the simulator with Racecraft. So it does help, but at the end of the day,
It's not
being
quite
in
the
the
real
car
thing.
is, that's when it really
Well,
counts.
I thought your dad maybe take his hand from his wallet, buy an R8, and then you just go and cruise around, a couple of circuits or something like that.
Yeah, I think the budget's a bit tight this year. My dad has had to pay for the last few years.
Sean, come on, Sean. Take your hand from your wallet, man. It's just your little boy. Look after him. Before we carry on about the series and how many races and that kind of stuff, tell us a little bit about the FIA Institute that you've been part of as well with the, what do they call it, Most Awesome Driver campaign that you were chosen for. Tell us a little bit about that and what you've been doing with them.
All right. Well, at the end of last year, we had our first module in Edinburgh where we did a whole bunch of fitness tests and stuff like that.
Is this with Alex Wirtz?
Alex Wirtz, yes.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the whole campaign and that type of thing.
Okay.
So basically, it's 10 drivers around the world. I was the representative from Africa. And then they go into Young Driver program where Alex Wirtz is like basically coaching us and preparing us for the, when we get a factory drive one day. So it does make things a lot easier and it gets our names out there. And basically, the first few courses have just been fitness related, mental preparation based. And now at the end of Feb, I'm going for the first driving course, which should be pretty cool, getting in a car with Alex Wirtz.
Yeah, you could do worse. That's for sure.
Yeah, no,
but I think also, having achieved that and having been a representative at the FIA, that must have, got people like Christian Abt looking around and going, well, hold on a second, who is this kid? Let's give him a chance, which I think is
definitely.
wonderful.
The FIA, as you know, it's probably the biggest body when it comes to motorsport in the world.
For sure.
And it definitely helps a lot to get your name out there. But at the same time, I've always been with a VW group in all the cars I've driven. And that played a major, major role in Christian Abt sort of spotting me to go into an R8. Also, the Audi factory have also shown keen interest and are supporting the program for the season. So, it's a very good opportunity, as I said again. And
it's brilliant.
Really looking forward to it.
So now you go over the first test in March. When is your first race?
First race is at the end of April.
Okay.
In Oschersleben, a track that I do know very well.
Yes.
But the other tracks that we go to, I again don't know at all. So it's going to be a learning process again from scratch.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to have to hit the simulator quite often again to prepare before all the races.
And how long are the races?
4 hours.
Yeah.
So we will do a driver swap probably every hour in the
Okay.
race. So that's something I'm not so excited for. We have the driver swaps are done in under 40 seconds. So, I've never liked being rushed to get into a car, and now I've got to kind of do it on
Get
a
used
regular
to it.
basis. So,
Change the seat, get the
Yeah.
position right, all of those kind
Yeah.
of things. And then also, you got to have some kind of a relationship with your teammate. You don't have to be best of friends, but you got to be able to get on so that you're going for the same goal.
yeah, for sure. This year it's a team game now. It's not I make the entire difference. We've got to work together and we've got to get a compromise on how we set up the car as well.
Of course.
Obviously, we both have very different driving styles, and we have to figure out exactly what the compromise is so we can both get the best out of it. I do know Nicky. He was at all the races for the DTM last year.
Yes.
So I've spoken with him before. So, he's a nice guy, and I look forward to working with him this year.
Yeah, no, but he doesn't want a 17-year-old kicking his butt.
Definitely not. But luckily, we're in a team, so
Yeah, exactly. You got to be in the same team as well. Now, when do you turn 18?
20th of June.
What happens if you fail your license?
Well, I failed my learners, so you know what? I'll go back there and I'll go for my driving lessons and whatnot.
It would be
So-
quite hysterical.
No, it will be. So that's
I
all-
think surely when you turn 18 and you've booked your license, can't we we must do something. Can't we get one? We must get a car like you must go there in one of your old polo racing cars or something and we'll
Yeah,
put
get
in a
the
spare
instructors to hold
seat.
on to the
No, exactly, and
roll
then we'll come with a camera or whatever. We'll have another car sitting on the side there, but we definitely must do something with it because I think it'll be hysterical. You get there in the yard and maybe just do a couple of turns with the guys, sit and say, don't worry, I know how to drive.
Sounds good.
I'm okay. Kelvin, so proud of you. I mean, on Monday we spoke to Jade Kruger, who's doing some great things in the UK in Formula Ford single-seaters. You now taking on Europe. You've already conquered most or part of it. It's so exciting for South African motorsport, and hopefully that's going to filter down here, because at the moment we're struggling to find anything going at the moment. So what you're doing, I think, is just tremendous.
Yeah, look, I think it's good that there's a lot of South Africans going overseas. It's what the country needs. The drivers that are aspiring, coming up from karting, need someone to look up to, and they need a goal to aspire to later on in their career. So I definitely think it's really opening up the world of South African motorsport. And if we can make a change, I think all the drivers need to get together, and we need to get a group together and start promoting South African motorsport, because there's a lot of potential here. As you've seen, Jade Kruger went and won a few races last year in British Formula Ford. Roman De Beer also doing great things in GP3.
Correct.
So, I mean, we do have the talent, and it's just up to promoting it and, getting more of us over there.
Well, listen, you don't worry about that. Let the admin people worry about that. You go and race. And you know what? If you achieve half of what you achieved last year, I think it would be an outstanding accomplishment. I know you want to go and win, but I think just being in this category where you are is going to be invaluable for you for the future. So we wish you the greatest success. We'll definitely follow you as much as possible. And, whenever you got a chance, give us a shout so we can chat to you.
Thank you very much, Sasha. It's always great coming on, eh?
It's a pleasure. There we go. Kelvin van der Linde. Man, it's unbelievable. Guy can't drive home because he doesn't have a license. Hey, Daisy?
That's
what
hilarious.
happens? Hey, I've just thought of a great idea.
What?
Why don't we get your little pink Fiat 500 and you go outside with Kelvin and just have a little spin around the car park?
I don't know.
Come on, take your camera.
No, I'm too scared.
Let's see if we can do some donuts in a front wheel drive little 500. Hey, Daisy?
You can take your car.
Oh, you're a clown. All right, there we go. Kelvin van der Linde. Follow him, of course, on Facebook. He's on Twitter. And we get updates here all of the time in terms of his successes and his progress when he races in Europe.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo on bulls.co.za.